the top 7 reasons why you should or shouldn't go to the top of Mount Everest. Climbing the world's most famous mountain appears on many lists of things people want to do before they die, but there are some very good reasons not to. Reason number 1. It's harder than you think. Most people don't realize how recently it was that Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay made the first successful climb to the top. That was 1953. Before that, starting in the 1920s, there were many unsuccessful attempts by highly qualified Western climbers and many fatalities. Today, even with the expert assistance and canisters of oxygen, a lot of people don't make it up the mountain, and a lot don't make it back down ever again. Reason number 2. It's absurdly expensive. Here's what you can expect to pay before you set foot on the mountain. Climbing gear can range between $8,000 to $10,000. Bottled oxygen can range around $3,000. Permit to climb is around $11,000 regarding of the grip size. Transportation of your gear to the base camp is about $2,000. Food, etc. A round-trip flight to Nepal is around $800 to $1,200. The total cost will be between $60,000 and $120,000. Reason number 3. It's ridiculously cold. In July, the warmest month of the year, the average temperature near the top is -2 degrees Fahrenheit. It never gets anywhere close to above freezing. There's also wind chill. While winter features hurricane speed winds, around 70-mile-per-hour winds for most of the season, summer winds offer little relief. They're typically 20 miles per hour with frequent summer snowstorms. Number 4. You may lose body parts you wish to keep. The culprit? Frostbite. One lucky survivor in 1996 had to have his right arm amputated below the elbow, besides losing parts of both feet, his nose, and remaining hand. In Everest's sub-zero temperatures, frostbite is easy to get and difficult to fix. Number 5. There's a good chance you'll die up there. As you get above 26,000 feet, you enter the death zone. So called because the air is thin enough that you'll actually suffocate if you end up staying up there beyond your oxygen tank's capacity. A sudden storm that makes it impossible to leave your tent for a day or two, a sprained ankle, illness, or altitude sickness. If you can't move quickly enough on your own, it can be a death sentence as extra liquids collects to your brain and a frothy sputum fills your lungs, drowning you. Rescue by helicopter or emergency personnel is virtually impossible. The death rate has been in the range of about 4 deaths for every 100 people who reach the top. One of the deaths was John Delaney, founder of Untitled, who, walking up a gentle slope 50 yards from the summit in 2011, suddenly crumpled and died. Number 6. The top is littered with tons of trash and a few hundred human corpses. If you die on the mountain, there's only a small chance that your body will be recovered. Worse, your mummified body will become yet another unsightly piece of Everest litter. Or, as in the case of some longtime corpses, a landmark. Example, green boots. A frozen climber from India whose fluorescent green footwear marks the way up a popular path. Or the sitting young woman who, for many years, until her body was finally blown into a crevice by a winter storm, sat leaning against her pack, her eyes open and her long hair blowing in the winds. The styles of the dead climbers' clothes date them from baggy wool and cotton blends of the 1950s to the bright synthetics of the 21st century. Some bodies still have cell phones in their pockets with photo-filled memory cards. There are more than 200 bodies on Everest, prevented by altitude and cold from rotting away or being eaten by predators. Many of them are visible to other climbers in the summer season. In fact, Rainbow Valley, along a popular route just below the summit, gets its nickname from the colorful nylon outerwear on the dozens of bodies scattered across the landscape. Number 7. It's not as big as a deal as it used to be. Despite its perils, more than 5,000 people have made the trip to the top. With space-age clothing, modern climbing equipment, cell phones, and satellite-assisted weather reports, the climb isn't quite the solitary human-against-nature struggle it used to be. When going up the mountain, climbers will typically have support, expedition guides and Sherpas, and yaks to carry the supplies, drop off oxygen bottles along the route, set up camp, and even make dinner when they arrive. and climbers no longer have to blaze a trail with an ice axe and crampons. They can take one of two popular routes, each with permanently preset ropes and bridges. Ironically, these improvements may end up increasing the number of fatalities, tempting reckless newbies to attempt the climb, and more expert climbers to attempt dangerous firsts.